Hey everyone, I want to talk about something that's been on my heart. We're living through something unprecedented right now, and I don't mean the politics or the news, although it's horrible. I mean what's happening between us, between people who love each other. Canyons have opened up, family dinners have become minefields, friendships of decades are hanging by threads. People aren't talking to their own children, their siblings, their oldest friends. And I think there's a way through this that most people haven't considered. The question. I want to sit with this question. I want you to sit with this question for a moment. Where else in your life can you show up exactly as you are, feeling exactly what you're feeling, without first having to assess whether it's safe? Really think about it. Can you do this at work? Probably not. Can you do this with family? For a lot of us, family is where the deepest canyons exist right now. Can you do this with friends? Maybe some, but even long-term friendships are fracturing. Can you do this on social media? Definitely not. This is where we perform our most curated selves, hoping to avoid the pylon. For most people, the honest answer is nowhere. There's almost nowhere left where you can bring your whole self, your fears, your grief, your confusion, your broken heart, without first calculating whether you'll be judged or rejected or argued with. And that's exhausting. It's isolating. And for a lot of us, it's why we're reaching for food or wine or scrolling or whatever our thing is. The problem with trying to change minds, here's something I've learned, and I'll be writing more about the science behind this, but trying to change someone's mind through argument almost never works. In fact, it usually backfires. When we feel attacked or challenged, our nervous system goes into defense mode. Fight or flight. We dig in harder. We stop listening. We start defending. We run. So all those conversations where we're trying to convince someone, where we're explaining why they're wrong, why we're sharing articles and facts and evidence, they're not just ineffective. They're often making things worse. And here's the other thing nobody talks about. Those charged conversations activate our dopamine system. The same reward pathways that get triggered by sugar, by gambling, by anything that gives us a hit of significance. We actually get a neurochemical rush from engaging with charged, sensational content. It feels important. It feels like we're doing something. But then comes the crash, and we reach for something to regulate food, drink, more scrolling. It's a cycle, and arguing harder isn't the way out. A different way? So, what is the way through? I've been thinking about this for years, and I've come to believe there's a skill we can learn that changes everything. I call it moving the camera. Here's what I mean. When we're in a charged conversation, the camera is usually pointing out there, at the situation, at the news, at the policy, at the person we disagree with. And when the camera is pointed out there, we're in debate territory. We're trying to be right. We're triggering each other. We're making the space unsafe. But what if we moved the camera? What if instead of pointing it at the situation, we pointed it at our hearts? What if instead of talking about what's happening out there, we talked about what's happening in here? What this sounds like. Instead of, can you believe what so-and-so did? Try, I'm so unsettled, I couldn't sleep last night. Instead of, how can anyone support that? Try, I feel so disconnected from people I love. It's breaking my heart. Instead of explaining why your view is right, share what the situation is doing to you emotionally. See the difference? The first version puts people on the defensive. It invites argument and it creates more division. The second version invites connection because here's the thing, even people who disagree with you completely can recognize, yeah, I know what it feels like to be unsettled. I know what it feels like to have my heart break over someone I love. We can meet each other there, not in our positions, in our humanity. Why this matters. When we feel alone with our big feelings, what I call alarmed aloneness, we reach for things to soothe ourselves, food, numbing, distraction. But when we feel witnessed, when someone says, I see you, that sounds so hard. Of course you're struggling. Something shifts. The need to numb decreases, not because we're controlling ourselves, but because we're actually getting what we need: connection. This is why I believe moving the camera isn't just a communication technique, it's a pathway to healing for our relationships and for our relationship with food and all the other things we use to cope. The invitation. So here's what I want to leave you with. The next time you're in a conversation that starts to feel charged, or the next time you're about to post something or respond to something or engage with something that's activating you, pause. Ask yourself, where is my camera pointed? Is it pointed at the situation, at being right, at convincing someone? Or can I move it to my heart? Can I share how I'm actually feeling underneath all the opinions? You might be surprised what opens up. I've been practicing this for years now in a community I run, and I've watched people with very different views sit together, share their hearts, and leave feeling more connected, not less. It's possible. I've seen it. I'm going to be writing more about the science behind why charged conversations hijack our nervous systems and why arguing doesn't work. I'll share that soon. But for now, I just wanted to plant this seed. There is a way through, and it starts with moving the camera. Thanks for being here. I'd love to hear what landed for you. Drop a comment. Let me know what's stirring. Take care of yourselves.